beat down that thumbs up button. Tell people I'm live right now. Let's grow this channel. We got to get these numbers up. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Get these numbers up. Get them up. Get them up. Get them up. Get them up. Wow. Did you guys happen to see the Nick Ball Figueroa fight? I didn't see it. I just saw the knockout. Tremendous left hook by Figueroa. This guy looks like he is a great, great fighter. And that height on him for that division, wow, that's something special. That's really something special. But puts Nick Ball down with a left hook. Nick gets up, kind of, you could see he was dazed, and then Nick got knocked out the ring, man. He's hanging out the ropes like when Rocky hit Drago. Figueroa does it, takes the belt, and I felt like Figueroa was gonna win that fight because of the height. And this dude can punch really hard. He can punch really hard, and Nick Ball is no slouch. But that height is very hard to deal with. But I'm gonna have to go back and check out the whole fight. But what I want to talk about mainly is Deontay Wilder crashes out just in time for Black History Month. The timing. Was he trying to have another to this day moment? Because every time he would say something on Simon Jordan's platform, Talk Sport, he would say, "I'm back." Like, just because he's yelling, I guess he thinks he's back now. I saw a little discussion that Deontay had on another platform with Derek Chisora, and he got started on Fury cheating, and Chisora was like, "Hey, man, we got to be honest. We got to be honest." He was like, "I was at that fight." In other words, there was no cheating. There's still people coming on my platform talking about that something looked funny with Fury's glove, like it was flopping around. I told this one dude, go back and look at some Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali's fights, doing the same thing. And then the dude was like, "Yeah, but this other platform showed how gloves were made different and stuff like that." Made different or not, sure, gloves have advanced since that time, but gloves weren't so different that they're going to start doing funny things in the ring. Well, see, Ali's was when he jabbed and Tyson's was when he hooked. What? Huh? You guys are really looking for something, aren't you? That's just that's garbage. And if Tyson Fury was hitting with this part of the hand because you guys are acting like he was moving his hand around, that's going to hurt Fury more than it's going to hurt Wilder. Y'all don't seem to get that. Charlene in the building. What's up with you? Hey, how you doing? Just talking about Deontay Wilder. Seemed like dude is going stir crazy. And like I was saying, if Tyson Fury was hitting Deontay Wilder with this part of his hand, that's going to hurt Fury more than it's going to hurt Deontay Wilder. And then the dude that I was going back and forth with, you can read it on my video I did about if Tyson Fury cheated, why doesn't Deontay sue? You can read the long back and forth I had with dude. And he was like, well, Margarito got caught. This other dude got caught. This guy got caught. And I'm saying, you're proving my argument for me. They got caught. If Tyson Fury hasn't got caught, how many years later is this? That means there's nothing crazy going on. I mean, for Deontay to still be talking about this all these years later, man, how long ago were them fights? And he's not claiming that the third fight was cheating. So he's claiming, I guess, the first two or the second one is the one that the cheating took place. So how many years ago was that, man? It's at least 5 or more. So you got this mountain of evidence, and you're still talking about you're gonna put out a movie, you're gonna put out a documentary. I'm just like, man. Shirley said Wilder needs a hug and not a fight. Yeah, man, that ayahuasca stuff is something else. And he's talking about he wants to try it again. I'm sick of these dudes coming on platforms acting like they're followers of the Christian faith, and then they're talking about you're gonna try ayahuasca. Derek Chisora too said something about I think he was gonna try it with them. I'm like, Christians don't smoke. No, no, That's not part of how we roll. That's not what we do. You can't be double minded. And seems like Deontay is very double minded. He's a Christian one minute, he's ayahuasca the next, and it's just all over the place. And you got all this cussing, even Fury cusses and Chisora cusses, and like, dude, are we not reading the same scriptures? Like, what? If there's no change in your life from being a sinner to being a Christian, then what kind of testimony is that? If you're the same person you were in the streets as you are when you became a believer, there's no change, then come on, man. But anyway, Deontay Wilder has his crash out just in time for the shortest month of the year, which is, I always found that odd. Black History, shortest month of the year. Deontay has his crash out for Black History Month, so he can say, I'm defending my people, I'm oppressed. Yeah, man. You're oppressed. A millionaire. How many years you been a millionaire, Deontay? What kind of oppression is that? And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there on the streets thinking, man, I wish I had that oppression. Bank account on swole, talking about he's oppressed, screaming, acting like he's just out on the streets, living in a tent. I'm like, man, this dude be putting on a show, man. And it feels like a show. It feels like an act, when you see him. Chisora passing the tissues was yeah, I didn't even notice that till later that Chisora gave him some tissues, because I thought Wilder was about to cry myself the way his voice sounded, but then he turned it into a laugh. So I thought that was funny. I hadn't even noticed that when I first watched it. Peace and love, bro. Peace and love to you too. Appreciate that. Thanks for coming through. Yeah, but Chisora passing the tissues was hilarious, man. Chisora's just sitting there taking it all in. He's like, yeah, like tell him. But Wilder's whole thing when he gets in front of the cameras, it just seems like an act a lot of the times. Like the way he just comes across, like while he's just like whispering and like overly dramatic and yeah. And then he's butchering the language while he's talking. There were talks of him playing Clubber Lang's son in the Creed movies. This dude would have been just tearing up the English language trying to get through that script. Can you imagine Deontay Wilder in a Creed movie trying to read the script? Talking about documentary. They'd have been like, cut. You remember Rocky 2 when Rocky was trying to do the commercials and he couldn't read, and they're like, cut, get this dude up out of here. That's what they would have done with Wilder. It would have looked like that scene from Rocky 2, the Creed version. I just kind of had it with Deontay, man. I hope Chisora just sends this dude into retirement, basically. And it's just how many times, man? How many times can we hear this? Bon Scott, what's up to you? Hey, Mr. Roos, how? I'm doing all right, man. I'm just chilling in the cut, whatever that means. We say all these terms. Have you ever thought about where slangs came from and like who started them? Have you ever thought of stuff like, I remember my homies in high school talked about this. They're like, who just decided one day that this is a pencil? Has nothing to do with anything. But I hope you all having a great day, great night, depending on where you are. I'm in America, um, in Georgia, where the traffic is always bad. 24 hours is rush hours up here. They're always rush hour, I should say. They're always working on the highway. There's always a crazy accident. Can you just get to your destination already? It's always something going on the Georgia highways. Only chance Wilder has of winning is going back to his old style. Getting rid of Malik Scott was the first step in the right direction. Getting rid of Malik Scott was a step in the right direction. Yeah, Malik is just not. He wasn't a good fighter, so how's he going to be a good trainer? Now there'll be some people that say, well, that doesn't matter. There's some great trainers that never fought, but it's better to have fought so you can know what your fighter's thinking. And Malik Scott, man, we all know he took a Greg Louganis dive when he fought Deontay Wilder. We all know that. You could see that punch didn't connect, and this dude went down. Even Deontay went to his dressing room after the fight, asking him, did he take a dive? Even Wilder thought so. So this is the dude you want in your camp? And it's like Fury said, you couldn't beat Fury, so how are you going to tell Deontay how to beat me? There's just a lot of weird stuff in that camp, you know. And Deontay with this constant, pro-black Farrakhan message, and then he's got JDs in his camp, but gets rid of Mark Breland. Make that make sense. You get rid of the black man, keep the white guy, and then all of a sudden you Mr. Militant, Malcolm X Jr. I'm not getting it, man. And why isn't Mark Breland suing you for all the accusations you made? Maybe he's got a documentary coming out too. I'd love to see that documentary. Interesting story. During World War II in England, white American soldiers wanted black soldiers stopped from entering bars in England. Wow. Wowzers. Wow. The locals, in fact, banned white American soldiers from entering these bars and only allowed black soldiers. True story. Wow, that is interesting. I never knew that. Never knew that. Bon Scott dropping the history lesson on Jay Roos. See, that's why I like my subscribers. They're not just bots. They come in here with some knowledge and be dropping knowledge on my dome piece. You know what I mean? Dropping knowledge on me. Mark Breland knows he needs help. Yes. Yes. Mark Breland is taking the high road. And like I said on my other video, Tyson Fury's taking the high road, saying he's going to pray for Wilder. But it sounds like Deontay's taking the high road. Like the Friday movies. And you know this, man. Wilder, man, the dude is entertaining, though. I give him that. He's entertaining, and his interviews are more entertaining than his more recent fights. I mean, who's the last guy he fought? I don't even know that dude's name, but he got the win, and he's fighting Derek Chisora at the O2 in April. And I do believe Derek Chisora will win that fight. I don't really like all the buddy stuff going on, and but I think when it comes time to ring and make it happen, I think they'll both put that aside. But I think Derek Chisora will win the fight. I saw a clip of Derek Chisora asking Big Baby Miller why he didn't throw any jabs in his last fight. And they're saying, then why were you bending down? They're saying, because you're tired. And then Derek Chisora admitted, hey, he's been in the same situation. So if Derek Chisora can go into this fight and throw in some straight punches and look out for the right hand of Deontay Wilder, he should win this fight. Point is, brother, racism is in South US is not the same as the situation in England. Wilder was assuming that everywhere in the world is the same in the deep south of the US. Yeah, that's a great point. Wilder's acting like, his, well, I can't even say his experience because this dude's a multi-millionaire and he's been one for what, probably a decade now. I don't know what his life was like too much before. I know he's driving what, Coke trucks or some kind of beverage truck, and he was talking about that, but it still didn't sound like it was some crazy stuff going on. Now I know Alabama has a lot of racist stuff going on, but he's making it sound like he was having water hoses put on him and all that. He didn't go through that. He's just trying to get people back on his bandwagon because he knows he hasn't been doing it in the ring. So he figures, I fell off hard, so let me add another to this day and get all the black folks to rally behind me again. And it's not gonna work, homie. We see through that. It's an act. I don't think it's real. I don't. And the emotions just came because he didn't want to talk about Tyson Fury. He don't want to talk about that beating. He said, not the water hoses. Yeah, yeah. This dude. Oh. Yeah, I'm like, this dude is acting like he had dogs attacking him and stuff. Shout out to Tony's Reviews. That's the homie. Go subscribe to Tony's Reviews. My fellow muscle man in these YouTube streets. We walking around in the 250s. What y'all want to do? What y'all want to do? What y'all want to do? Come through. Get hit with a 1-2. But I'm just tired of Wilder and his just games with the race stuff, dude. Let it go, dude. He's so oblivious to the negative attention coming his way. You might have a couple people, Deontay, that are backing you right now, but most people are looking at you like, dude, really, man? And if the black folks are honest that are rallying behind you, if they would just stop, they'd be like, yeah, this don't make no sense, dude. This makes zero sense. You're saying that you're that good that this dude had to go to this length to win. He had to get the water spiked. He had to have the referee in on it. Oh yeah, the other day I couldn't believe Wilder said when the referee gave Fury the long count in the first fight, he said that was white supremacy. White supremacy. He said it was a 15 count. Wrong again. And it's the referee's count. It's whatever he's counting. It's not a stopwatch. It's not 1, 2, 3. It's whatever the speed the ref is counting at. But that's white supremacy to Deontay Wilder because he gave Tyson Fury a chance to get up and continue what turned out to be a great fight, and a fight that Fury really won too. There's no way you could be winning every round, get knocked down twice, and all of a sudden it's a draw. So Fury got robbed in that. Maybe he should sue. This this nonsense has got to stop, man. And there's a lot of black folks that don't want to call him out because they don't want to get called a sellout. Now I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. You can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. But I'm gonna say it what it is, man. This dude has no argument, and that documentary he's talking about, it's not coming out. It's not coming out. If you believe this documentary and movie of Wilder is coming out, showing how Tyson Fury cheated, I got some swampland around the corner selling for $5.99 right now, and I don't mean $599. I mean $5.99. This dude ain't got nothing coming out if he don't stop. Reverend Jesse said that he was, man, my eyes blurry like a mug today. Reverend Jesse said he was happiest before the Jim Crow laws. Wilder has had numerous chances to unify the division. Him, Fury, and AJ got to let the new generation take over. Interesting point. Interesting point. Wilder is so oppressed. He has Shelly Finkel as his promoter. Yeah, good point. Good point. What's up with that? Why didn't you go with Don King? We all know what Shelly Finkel is. The ones that run the entertainment industry. Come on, Wilder. It's not adding up, man. It's not adding up. Your life is a walking contradiction. You're a Christian one minute and you're smoking the next. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of cussing Christians too, like I said. They're the 10 commandments, not the 10 options. People just do what they want and then label themselves a Christian. Well, I believe in God, so I'm a Christian. The devil knows there's a God too. What does that mean? In fact, he knows the scripture better than most alleged Christians. What are you talking about? Read the scriptures before you go public talking about I'm a Christian, and then you got a mouth like Richard Pryor and Andrew Dice Clay. Make it make sense. There's nobody coming through with the pool of Fury, AJ, and Wilder. Yeah, I'm not a Moses Atama guy until I see him get clipped on the chin and take it like a G or get up off the canvas. I just don't see it. I don't. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing the dude, but he's just not physically imposing. When I look at if a dude stepped to me that looked like Moses Atalma, he would get lit up. I'd be dude, please sit down somewhere, go play. Moses Atalma is not an imposing guy. Got hands. He's very fast. He's very strong. But he's not Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was scary looking. Mike Tyson had dudes trembling. Dudes were afraid before they even got in the ring. Moses Atalma is not that. And his speech is already slurring. Some people say he's smoking the la. I don't know. I don't know if it's a combination of the two. But Moses Atalma, I don't see it. And who's next on the horizon that everybody's talking about? Lawrence Okoli, he can fight, but another guy that doesn't have the look. He's heavy, but he's not. These guys don't look like heavyweights of the 90s. They don't look like Evander Holyfield. They don't look like Mike Tyson. They don't look like Lennox Lewis. Might look like Riddick Bowe. He was imposing because of his size, but he wasn't real muscular. Even guys like Burt Cooper, muscular. Tommy Morrison, George Foreman was a big guy, so you just don't see a lot of that now. Jared Anderson, he doesn't have the mind right now to do any damage in the heavyweight division. But I'm thinking this fight with Derek Chisora will be Deontay's farewell to the heavyweight division. I know he said he's not going to retire, but I think if he gets humiliated bad enough. And why is this dude not calling out Zhang? Why is that? Why is that? Why don't you want some payback? Because Zhang made you look really bad. Zhang made you look just as bad as Fury did. The way you spun around and looked like you were trying to complain in the ring, and then pow. As much as I like, speaking of complaining, as much as I like Chris Eubank Jr., his complaining started to get on my nerves before this last fight with Conor Benn. I was just like, this dude is always talking about people trying to hold him back and this and that. We get it. That's life. Even if you're not a professional athlete, even if you work a 9 to 5, there's politics at the job. There's always going to be somebody trying to hold you back, but you got to stop complaining. It just makes you look weak, man. You don't want to look like a hoe for the world to see. That's not a good look. And I like Chris Eubank. He's a very tough guy physically and mentally, but you got to stop with the complaining, man. Or if you're going to do it, just don't do it for the world to see. people look at fighters like superheroes. So you don't want to take your cape off and get reduced to Clark Kent. Superman was a chump though. I don't like Superman. Pagan origins. What's going on here? Wow, $20. Have some DoorDash on me. Wilder is a clown who can't handle a white man beat his whole whole twice. Just like you said, when you blame skin color for every failure you get, it says more about you than anyone else. Mr. Whisper, shout out to you, man, with the $20 holler, man. Thanks a lot, man. Shout out to you. I really appreciate that. And that's a great comment you made too. That's a great comment. You can't sit there and go on some type of tirade about my people are oppressed and how we go from Glovegate to your people being oppressed. And then did you hear when he walked out on Simon Jordan? He's like talking about my people. Simon Jordan didn't say nothing about your people. You turned it into that. He was trying to ask you about Tyson Fury, and you had a meltdown like a 3-year-old. Deontay Wilder likes to go on these other platforms and get the softball questions, like I said on one of my videos. Like, hey, man, do you think you're one of the hardest hitting heavyweights ever? Hey, man, why are fighters scared to fight you? Hey, man, you really won that first fight with Fury, don't you think? He likes those type of questions. He don't want no what was up with you looking one-dimensional in your fight against Fury the first time. He don't want nothing like that. He's going to have a meltdown and turn into a race war and try to change the subject. Can't respect that about the dude, man. That's some weak stuff, dude. That's weak. Where'd my comments go? Where in the world? Connor's so angry all the time, like he's got permanent roid rage. Yeah, I guess the anger doesn't help the rumors, huh? Watch the presser, Jay Roos. Wilder said nothing when Fury was mentioned. He just made a show of picking on a tiny man and Simon. Yeah, I didn't like that either. I didn't like how he stood up in Simon Jordan's face. And say what you want about Simon Jordan, you know, I'm not the biggest Simon Jordan guy, but the dude's got heart. He'll ask the tough questions right in your face, and he wasn't backing down from Wilder, even when Wilder was standing up over him. But I thought, what, you gonna try to fight Simon Jordan and not get some run back with Zhang or Joseph Parker? But you're gonna get in the interviewer's face. Yeah, that's real tough. Real impressive, Deontay. Real tough, man. But like I said, a lot of black folks steer away from this conversation because they don't want to be ostracized and called an Uncle Tom and a house nigga and a sellout. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that because the same people that want to say that aren't going to do it if you see them outside. Ain't nobody going to come up and call me none of that stuff. Exactly, if the press can't ask the official questions, then don't go on the show. Yeah, if you're not gonna ask any tough questions, why go on? Nobody wants to just hear about your walk through the park. Nobody wants to hear about the song you just made, Wilder. We don't care about your music career. At least I don't. It ain't on my playlist. If he's going to use Fury for anything, it should be for giving him CTE because he can't pronounce documentary at all. My documentary, like this dude, This dude butchers the English language, man. And then when he's talking about he got the artifacts before way back, remember he said he had the autopsy to prove. Dude, oh my goodness, dude. Uh, high school diploma, GED. I mean, man, dude. And I don't usually come down on people this hard, but enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. And he's got to be called out on this nonsense. I wonder how JD's feels. I know he's like, wow, man. I guess he figures I can't say nothing or he's gonna get rid of me next. But so, Christians don't twerk. Yeah, what was up with that? That's so true. Yeah, I remember that footage where Deontay was twerking. He did something foul with the cardboard cutout of Fury the other day. Mm. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, and that's scripture. That's fact. 100%. 100%, as the Fury say. But mm. Deontay's one of them kind of dudes, like if you're in a room full of white folks and you in there with Deontay and he starts to talk, you kind of like this, like, oh, dude, please don't embarrass me, homie. Something crazy is about to happen, so you try to make a noise so they don't hear him speak. You're like, oh, or yawn real loud. Oh, yeah, he one of those. You're like, oh, dude, you setting us back 500 years, man. Oh, please don't talk, Wilder. Please, please write it down. If you got something to say, write it down, but please don't speak. Ziploc. Did you watch the Nick Ball fight? Poor dude got sparked in the 12th. I was talking about that when I first came on. I didn't see the fight, but I saw how he got down by the left hook and then he got up kind of dazed and then he got knocked through the ropes. Yeah, this Figueroa dude is he's no joke. That height he has and the power he has, he's a future great. And Nick Ball is a good fighter, but Figueroa walked out with that belt and Nick the Wrecking Ball, he he got dealt with. He got dealt with. Don't know what's next for him, but when you saw Figueroa against, was it Tim Zoo or whoever? Didn't he beat him twice or something like that? And I don't really follow those lower divisions like that, but I know Figueroa. I hope I'm saying his name right. I know he's not to be played with. And at that height, he can move up if he wants to, or he can just stay in that division and continue to just sweep that division out. You guys watching the Super Bowl tomorrow? I'm not. My team's not in it. Not interested. How'd they not put Bill? I'm all over the place, but I talk about the NFL too. How Bill Belichick not get a first ballot Hall of Fame and Robert Kraft, the owner, he didn't get picked for the Hall of Fame? Seems like the NFL has something against the Patriots, man. Not very patriotic, is it? But yeah, I'm not interested in the Super Bowl or the halftime show. I forget who's performing, but yeah. The thing Deontay Wilder has to do too is get the yes men out the camp, man. He's got to get the yes men out the camp. It's too many of them, man. Sorry, couldn't resist. Poor Nick next for him is back to the circus getting fired from a cannon. Patriots. You're going with Drake, huh? Had to be the cheating stuff. Yeah. My little pocket rocket looked devastating. What? What? The Bronze Bomber. I wouldn't even call myself the Bronze Bomber. It's like Tyson Fury said. By you claiming bronze, show you weren't even the best in the Olympics. You know, you didn't get the gold or the silver. You got the bronze, and you're flaunting it. That means you were third best. Not something I'd go around bragging about. Like they say, nobody remembers number two, kid. But yeah. There was some dude on my page. I think he was trolling, talking about Deontay Wilder was the best fighter of this era. Error, not the best fighter of the era. That's an error. No way, no way. Check that resume. When he stepped up to these top fighters, nah. Even Luis Ortiz could have finished him in, what was that, the first or second fight? So, you know, he didn't, but, you know, he could have. He had him out on his feet. But, yeah, I've yet to hear Mr. Deontay talk about getting some get back against Zhang or Parker, or, you know, he's just stuck on Fury. He just can't take the fact that he lost to someone that he considers a white man. His ego can't deal with that. Can't deal with that. Yo, it's the Bronze King of the Throne, defeated y'all just to know Fury hit me. No, that glove was bent. Egg weights loaded. Egg weight form. Could this be the way to get a fourth fight with Fury? Or is he done with... I thought about that. I'm thinking, I hope there's no fourth fight with Tyson Fury. Because Fury doesn't really have nothing to gain from it. You know, you beat the guy again, they'll be like, well, what'd you expect? And then, you know what Deontay's, oh, he cheated. It's like, dude, stop. Only way I would fight this dude again, I would put in the contract, after I drop you, do not say I cheated. You say I cheated, your purse will be withheld, dude. I'm tired of that cheating stuff, man. I mean, you hear things like that from like little kids. You beat them in checkers or something. You cheated. I remember as a little kid, I was playing this other little kid in checkers or something, and I was beating him, and he was like, "You have to let me win now." You expect that from a child. It's a child, but when you grow up, you put the childish thing aside and become a man. You see how Canelo took his loss to Terrence Crawford? That's a man right there. When Ellie Seckback tried to come through and give him an excuse, he's like, no, we're not going to make no excuses. Shout out to Canelo, man. Took that loss like a rider. He didn't give no, oh man, I had a hangnail, so I lost. Oh, I pulled my calf in the fifth round, so I couldn't push off the back foot. We didn't hear none of that from Canelo. He gave Terrence Crawford his props, even wants some get back now. You got to respect that. Instead of studying film tape, Deontay Wilder, you need to study how Canelo handled that loss to Terrence Crawford. And you think he wasn't feeling some type of humiliation from letting a guy move up three weight classes and beating him for the world to see? You think that wasn't embarrassing for him? But he took it like a man. That's how you get better. That's how you move on. But if you're not going to be honest with yourself, you're going to keep being that one trick pony that keeps throwing that right with the Anakin Skywalker hand that nobody's talking about. Yeah, another thing, if Tyson Fury's cheating, how come no one's calling out Deontay Wilder's Luke Skywalker / Anakin Skywalker medal in his hand? He's bending stuff in his hand. Remember that? Remember how his knockout started to look more brutal once he got the Anakin Skywalker fist, but he's not cheating. Why isn't everybody that got knocked out by Deontay Wilder calling him a cheater? Some of them probably didn't even know he had the medal in his hand. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. I need to see if I could get Mark Breland on the show. I know he's kind of a quiet guy and doesn't like to do many interviews, but it'd be nice to get Mr. Breland on. I remember watching him in the Olympics as a child, man. I always liked Mark Breland. Costume 40 pounds, legs like lead, couldn't dance right, messed with my head. Yeah, I forgot the excuse about the costume, and then later he said he didn't say that. Later he's trying to say he didn't say that about the costume. Whilst Wilder's so skinny, he has to dance in the shower to get wet. I think Charlene said that one the other week. Hula hoop to a Cheerio, huh? Yeah, the fourth fight will be the same thing. It's not gonna be no different. Wilder just doesn't he doesn't have a style that can mess with Tyson Fury. For one, Tyson Fury is faster, he's bigger, he's a little bit taller. What is Deontay gonna do? I see Deontay in the gym throwing combos all the time. When he gets in the ring, not so much. It's pretty much jab, right hand, occasional uppercut. He's got a pretty nice uppercut. Needs to use it more. But I used to say even before Deontay took his first losses, the way to beat this guy is to crowd his space. Crowd his space, he don't know what to do. He needs room to throw them long punches. But Tyson Fury ain't even got to do that because I think Fury has the longer reach than Deontay. If not, he knows how to use the reach that he does have. Deontay Wilder, man. History is not going to be kind to this guy. Nobody likes to hear excuses. Nobody. Nobody. Even if you got like a reason that you didn't win, keep it to yourself. Remember when Anthony Joshua lost to Ruiz? He said there was a physical problem. I think he had surgery, but he said he'll write about it in a book perhaps when he's retired. He didn't go on a long press tour about Ruiz cheated and excuse me, and he might have an argument because Ruiz was hitting him in the back of the head on some of those hooks, but he didn't do it. That's called being a man, Deontay. You put on your big boy pants and you man up, homie. You man up. Fourth fight will be the same result as the other three. Yep. Yep. Makes me sad that they think he's the hardest punching heavyweight. Yeah, that's insane, ain't it? He's the male Clarissa Shields. That's a good way to describe him. Actually, I'll give Wilder his props though. He's one of the most powerful punchers we've had in years. He would have. I still want to see Deontay fight AJ, but I sound like a broken record at this point when I say that Wilder is not the hardest punching heavyweight in history. Look at who he was knocking out. There's no way Deontay Wilder hits harder than Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, David Tua, George Foreman, Ernie Shavers. There's no way, dude. Ray Mercer, Tommy Morrison. He don't hit harder than these dudes. These dudes were knocking out dudes with names. Shannon Briggs. He don't hit harder than these dudes. He can hit, but the hardest of all time? Stop. Stop. Y'all go ahead and beat down that thumbs up, Cash App, $J Roos 33 if you wish to support the platform, you know. $JROOS 33, Roos, not Ross. I got a family to feed. Help me out. See, Wilder would never come on a platform like mine. He would never, because I would be giving him the Simon Jordan treatment. And if he stood up in my face, I'm going to stand up back too. I'm not going to stay in my seat. I didn't expect Simon Jordan to stand up, but he's stand up with me. I'm going to stand up too. And we're going to see where it goes. Ain't nobody scared of no dude with like little, like, legs that look like this. No, nobody's scared of that. Nobody's scared of that. At least I'm not. So he knows whose face to get into. He knows who to step to and who not to step to. And if he's still whimpering and whining about some defeats that happened years ago, that lets me know everything I need to know about his mental capacity. It's not where it should be. If he's the strongest striker, what's that say about Fury's jaw? He took his best punches and kept coming. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Wilder got them chicken legs. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I'm not saying Wilder don't have strong legs, but just looking at him, it looks like if you kick that dude in the leg, it would just snap like a number 2 pencil. That's why when Wilder was talking about fighting Francis Ngannou in the octagon, I'm like, are you insane, dude? That would be over in like 20 seconds. That would be insane. Don't critique Francis Ngannou off that AJ loss. I mean, he gave Fury fits, but yeah, there's no way Deontay Wilder is beating Francis Ngannou in the cage, in the street. I don't even know if he could beat him in the ring, but them legs would not hold up in any type of match where kicking is involved. That dude rolling ankle and the fight's over. Fight stop due to rolled ankle. Deontay Wilder gets rolled up just like his ankle. Did Nick Ball have a rematch clause? That I do not know. But if he was a belt holder, from which I understand, he probably did, as just to protect him and try to get his belts back. But what can he really do in the rematch? It'd probably end quicker. Nick Ball's a tough dude. Is just that height that Figueroa has is it's tough to deal with. You got to fight him close up, and even close up. Yeah, I don't think Nick can. I don't think Nick can beat this guy. Who can beat this guy at that division? When is Creed 4 coming out? I want to be in Creed 4. Just do one movie and bounce. Anything associated with Rocky or Creed, I'm in. But I heard they're doing a Drago spinoff, but Stallone ain't really happy about that because they did it without his permission. Erwin Winkler and them dudes, like, wow. Wow, how you gonna treat Sly like that? Y'all watch Tulsa King? Man, Tulsa King that's a great show, man. I didn't really like the last season finale because it was like too one-sided with, I don't know. I'll let you guys see it, but Samuel Jackson's on there now, but Tulsa King is Sylvester Stallone is just such great screen presence, man. I got a video I did a while back, but I haven't put it out yet, where I'm going at Willie D for trying to diss Willie D of the Ghetto Boys for trying to diss Sylvester Stallone because of certain views he has. I was like, Willie, you're not making no sense, dude. I tried to get Willie D on here to because he used to box. I wanted his take on the Terrence Crawford Canelo fight, but he egged me. And then I see he put out a video on his own page a little bit after talking about who he thought would win. He picked Terrence Crawford too, but I guess my channel was too small for him. Probably like you got to get your numbers up, Chief. I ain't got to do nothing. Willie D. Your mind playing tricks on you. Y'all remember that song? 1991. Sylvester Stallone, a good dude. I heard he was one of the celebrities who was pushing for Jack Johnson's. Yeah, yeah, he was one of the dudes pushing for that. And for Willie D to try to act like Sylvester Stallone is racist of all people, how many black people did Sylvester Stallone give jobs to and blow their careers up? Carl Weathers, Mr. T, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. The list continues. The dude that played the trainer, Duke. People behind the scenes. Sylvester Stallone happened to be watching, if you guys don't know the story about Rocky 3, he happened to be watching the Tough Man contest, not the kind where the dudes just, lift a bunch of heavy stuff. There's like obstacle courses and stuff like that. He happened to see Mr. T on there, or the person that was casting for Rocky 3 saw it. One of the two, I forget, but they saw Mr. T on there and had him come in and audition. Ernie Shavers had auditioned, but I think he hit Sylvester Stallone too hard. Stallone wanted him to hit the preparation, and I guess he hit too hard. And they didn't know if he'd keep missing and connecting, I guess. So they brought in Mr. T, and nobody would have played that part better than Mr. T. Nobody. So to call Sylvester Stallone racist is as absurd as calling let's see, what can I say here? It's like calling I'll think about that one. Wanted to give it a good analogy. I read Joe Frazier audition for Clubber Lang. Yeah, I think they couldn't do that though, because if you remember that Joe Frazier was actually in Rocky One at the beginning when he came in the ring and shook the fighter's hand, so it would be weird to see him as Joe Frazier in Rocky One and then Clubber Lang in Rocky Three. So Stallone's probably like, nah. Hey, yo, it's time, kid. It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take. That's how winning is done. Always got to do that. It's time, kid. Hey, yo, Adrian. But what y'all got up today? What y'all got going on? Had to come chop it up with the fearless nation out there. Sorry about that, y'all. I hit something. I don't know what I just did. I hit something. Send me back in the Facebook pop, not Facebook. Send me back in the YouTube population. Yeah, I still want to see Wilder versus Miller and Wilder versus White too. You know, maybe we can get some more hair flying up like from Wig Baby Miller. I saw Shannon Briggs on Facebook. He was clowning Big Baby Miller, saying, "This dude told me he got hair plugs." He's like, "Why you do that, champ?" He told me he got hair plugs. Nah, that wasn't no hair plug, man. He got his top peeled back. No sound, huh? Oh, okay. Let me see what I did. Can you hear me now? No sound still? No sound? Hmm.